You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
One Nation.
Saturday Soup on iLive Radio. All the organic goodness you need. Everybody needs some Saturday Soup.
Oh my God!
Now tuned into the greatest.
This bloke is one angry, naughty, aggressive crocodile. Crocodile, real you, they should know.
Real DJ. Don't just come up here and play tune and press buttons. Real DJ. Go, 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 go.
Crocodile, real you, they should know.
Yo, this is the mob bigging up DJ Crocodile playing the best in party joints.
Okay, party people in the house, you're about to witness something you've never witnessed before.
Well, it is a weeping and a mourning and a national feast in the dance hall, and who know people run from the song to welcome is come to my song, which is the champion sound. The furious blow the many times, but it's still a one more time. Let's get your mother's type of the power shoulder.
You better stop, man. You be a summer. Yo, watch the Crocodile and them doing this.
Alright, alright, boy, you play now. Banga, you get the people that don't love everything okay.
Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2, in the place to be.
A crocodile, listen up. A crocodile is
Saturday Soup on iLive Radio UK.
Yeah, good to go.
go, go. Go, 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 go.
Yes. I'm alive. Okay. Yes, that's better. Welcome aboard, everybody. If you just locked on this way, I want to say greetings and welcome aboard to iLive UK. This is the Saturday Soup Show. My name is DJ Croc from One Nation in the building alongside Sims Mode.
What's going on? I'm a bit croaky today. Hello?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, I'm a bit croaky today.
You're a bit croaky.
Yeah,
you can turn your mic up some more then.
No, stay. Don't make me laugh because I'm going to start coughing.
That's a good thing.
No.
That's a good thing.
But yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just wondering, all of a sudden this Joker character just come out.
Whatever. So how's your week been?
Tiring.
But
what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
I'm alright. I'm good. No, but I want to talk about your very first One Nation boat party last week Saturday.
Mate.
Tell me.
Mate.
What's going
Mate.
on? First of all, no, I just want to say congratulations and well done for that.
Thank you.
Because that's big.
It is. Thank you.
So yeah, tell me about it.
It was amazing, man. It was amazing. I don't even know where to start.
The weather was good though.
The weather held out for us. The weather was good. Not that it would have affected us that much anyway, because we had like 3 floors on this boat. We had the top outside deck, we had the main inside deck, and then we had another lower deck. Right. So we had enough covered floors to deal with anything the weather threw at us. But the weather held out for us, so we were on all floors. Sorry, we were on the 2 floors. We didn't bother with the bottom deck. So main deck and the top open deck. We were nice, as you probably seen from the pictures. We were inside and out.
I saw the pictures and I saw some videos. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was a very good look. A very, very good look for us. So, yeah, the first One Nation boat party was a huge success.
Nice.
Huge success.
Nice. And you're going to do one next year, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You hear it first here on iLive
yes,
UK.
Mate. And I have to say, big salute goes out to the Just Vibes family for inviting us to partner up with them on this. So, big shout out goes out to the whole of the Just Vibes crew. Big shout out goes out to the One Nation family who was down there. Big shout out to my people from Got Soul, Hearsay, Dave Knight, Kirk, were all down there as well.
Nice.
It was an amazing time.
That's really good.
Yeah, man.
I'm very happy about that.
No doubt. So yes, back to today's show. We have a full lineup for you today. Again, we have two very special guests coming to the studio today. A young lady who, I don't want to say too much on her now. I want to wait until she's in the studio. But singer, songwriter, Ruth Ellen is up in the building. Nice. A young lady I've been aware of for a few years now. But I don't want to say too much now. I want to wait until she's in here and talk to her directly. Singer, songwriter Ruth Ellen is up in the building. And also we're going to be speaking to Adrian Stone.
Yeah, from Own History.
Right.
He's got an event coming up called Trace Their Windrush Route. He's a genealogist as well, so
I didn't know that. Historian is what I got.
Yeah,
genealogist as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and he's dabbled in music and producing as well.
Oh yeah, he's done a bit of producing for the likes of Rodney P, Skinny Man, Kamani, Marley, and all that. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to talk about that as well. So he'll be coming up soon.
Cool. Yeah. As well as a full complement of gigs. I still got to talk some more about the Amber Geiger trial because that just keeps developing.
Yeah.
So we have to address that today as well. Yeah. Also want to talk about Tyler Perry making history. We're going to be talking to Adrian Stone about history because it's Black History Month. But I also want to talk about people who are making history now.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry is one of those. So we're going to talk about him. June Sarpon, becoming Director of Creative Diversity at the BBC. Give you a look to some of the shows we got coming up, some of the guests we got coming up in the next couple of weeks as well. Sports news, Tyson Fury entering the world of wrestling.
I saw that. No, wait. I saw that yesterday and I was like, am I reading right?
No, you're reading correctly, but stick a pin. We'll talk about that later. And of course, we've got a full complement of gigs as well. Loads of gigs to add to the ones we've been giving you already. Beverly Knight, Oswald, Angie Stone, Shalimar, Wizkid, Brand New Heavies, Alexander O'Neill, Janine, the London African Gospel Choir, Lil Sims, Kingdom, Pharaoh Monk, a whole heap of artists and gigs to give you across the country. So make sure you don't miss that. And of course, Sims.
Yeah.
You got the weather for us, right?
I do.
Hey, no show will be complete without Sims doing the weather.
That's right.
All right, so all of that still to come on today's Saturday Soup Show. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Captain, this ship is now under my direction.
Indeed. Kicked off the show with the sounds of a Lemon D, DJ Craze Refix. And I'm going to go into another Craze remix right now. As he was here last week for the DMC 2019 Championships doing a showcase. So why not kick off the show with one of his special remixes? Super Cat Remix.
Saturday Soup on iLive Radio. All the organic goodness you need. Everybody needs some Saturday Soup.
Yes. still have a way of destroying people. And even the government themselves didn't want this. Still, it's a political force that evolved through corruption, and the government themselves, they cannot do anything about it, because when it starts to rupture, it's like a wildfire getting out of control.
To the greatest.
This bloke is one angry, naughty, aggressive crocodile. Crocodile, real youth, they should know.
Real DJ. Don't just come up here and play tune and press buttons. Real DJ.
So deep in my feelings, no this ain't really like me. Can't control my anxiety. Feeling like I'm touching the ceiling. When I'm with you, I can't breathe. Boy, you do something to me. Ooh, don't ever get over you until I find somebody new that get me high like you do. Yeah, ooh, don't ever get over you until I find somebody new that get me high like you do. Listen to my heart go bottom, boot up, boot up, boot up. My heart go bottom, boot up, boot up. It just won't stop, it go bottom, boot up, boot up. My heart go bottom, boot up. It just won't stop me, oh. How many ways can I say that I need you, baby? It's true. I think I might die without you. Feeling all over my body. You know how I like it. Ain't gotta tell you what to do. Yeah. I'll never get over you until I find somebody new that get me high like you do. Yeah. Ooh, I'll never get over you until I find somebody new that get me high like you do. Listen to my heart go bottom, boot up, boot up. My heart go bottom, boot up, boot up. It just won't stop me, go bottom, boot up, boot up. My heart go bottom, boot up, it just won't stop me, go. Head over heels in love, right in front of you, ain't gotta look no more, baby. I wanna build this love, everything you own, you ain't gotta ask for. You got me boot up, boot up, boot up, boot up. So you're from the jump, I don't only choose you. Got me boot up, boot up, boot up, boot up. Grab me by the waist, baby, pull me closer. I'll never get over you until I find somebody new that get me high like you do. Yeah. Ooh, I'll never get over you until I find somebody new that get me high like you do. Listen to my heart go bottom, boot up, boot up.
That's the remix sounds of LMA. One Nation exclusive remix. We call that one Feelings. You can find that one on my SoundCloud page. Just look up a SoundCloud Crocodile248. I think I put a download link on that as well, so you can get it for free. Available now. Yeah, whoop whoop. We all love a bit of freeness.
Captain, This ship is now under my direction.
Right. So we got one of our special guests in the studio. Going to speak to in just a little while. But Sims, what are you saying? What
am I saying?
Yeah.
So obviously I think it was last weekend, Tyler Perry had the grand opening gala
of Tyler Perry's studio.
Making
history. The first African American to own his own major film studio.
And it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest.
No, it's not one of. It is the biggest.
It is the biggest.
It's the biggest.
Because basically, if you take Warner Brothers...
The biggest
studio,
in America, let's just be specific. It is the biggest in America. It is bigger than, I think, Warner Brothers, Disney, and Paramount combined.
Combined together. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a huge deal.
Wow.
Huge deal.
Amazing.
It's wonderful to be talking about. It's Black History Month.
Yeah.
And normally we talk about history that's already been made.
Yeah.
But I want to also be talking about history that's being made now. And Tyler Perry is doing it. So salute. I ain't got a hat on, but I would put one on and take it off just to say salute to Tyler Perry. It's a whether you like him, whether you hate him, whatever. It is a major achievement, a major accomplishment. So salute to Tyler Perry. Incidentally, as well, the building that he's taken over, some of the buildings were former Confederate buildings, and he's named them after prominent black people in the film industry.
Yeah, so some of them were Whoopi Goldberg.
No. There was Oprah, Will Smith, Denzel Washington. I'm not sure if Whoopi was in there.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg's in there, and Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis.
Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Oprah Winfrey, Sidney Poitier. I'm struggling to remember the rest now.
Cicely Tyson.
Yes, thank you. A whole heap. So it's a huge deal. I can't stress it enough.
It's a dedication to those who, at their time, didn't get the recognition they should have got. So the likes of Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis and Cicely Tyson, who kind of paved the way for himself to be you know what, I can be an actor or whatever, and then now has built something so amazing.
Yes, it's huge. In fact, let me just play a little clip that I picked up off CBS a little while. So let me just play this real quick.
Tyler Perry is the first African American to independently own a major film studio. It's the largest film complex in the country, bigger than the Burbank, California lots owned by Warner Brothers, Paramount, and Walt Disney Studios combined. Hollywood A-listers celebrated Perry on Saturday. Beforehand, he spoke with CBS This Morning's Gayle King.
The New York Times said, "You are the most successful mogul Hollywood has ever ignored." Do you think Hollywood gets you?
No, I clearly believe that I'm ignored in Hollywood for sure, and that's fine. I get it.
Wait a second, is that fine?
It is. My audience and the stories that I tell are African American stories that I grew up with, and we speak a language. Hollywood doesn't necessarily speak the language.
Who doing your hair?
But Perry's Medea films have had universal appeal, and he hopes to build on his success. Rodney Ho has covered entertainment in Atlanta for decades.
Is this considered the next Delta Airlines or Coca-Cola for Atlanta?
When people bring up Atlanta, you'll think of CNN and Ted Turner, you'll think of Hank Aaron and the Braves and Coca-Cola, and you'll think of Tyler Perry.
The studio is built on a former Confederate Army base. That irony is not lost on Perry, who named each of the studios after prominent African Americans in the film industry. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
Love it. Tyler Perry, salute.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or loathe him, salute. Major salute. Black history, world history being made, film history being made. Definitely. Right there. Definitely. And we're here to witness it. Yeah. All right, we got so much more to talk about, and we got our special guest, first special guest in the studio, and I want to get into that interview. All right, so we're going to draw one more tune, and then we're going to get into speaking to our very first special guest of the day. Incidentally, let me just say, I'm really proud of the roster of special guests that we're having coming through this show. Yeah. Right about now. In the short space of time that we've been here, I'm really proud of the caliber of artists and special guests that we've had coming through.
Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling myself right now. We can do that. All right, it's Saturday Soup, giving you all the organic goodness you need on a Saturday afternoon. Let's get into it some more.
Captain, this ship is now under my direction.
What I'm whipping up, this is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping.
Yes, over to another remix.
America.
Childish Gambino, This Is America. We're going to be talking a lot about America today. A lot.
No, this is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Look how I'm living now. Police be tripping now. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. I gotta carry him. Yeah, I'ma go into this. Yeah, this is gorilla. Yeah, I'ma go get the bag. Yeah, or I'ma get the pad. Yeah, I'm so cold like yeah. I'm so dull like yeah. We gon' blow like yeah. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping. Look what I'm whipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Don't catch you slipping. This is America. Don't catch you slipping. Don't catch you slipping. Look what I'm whipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Look how I'm geeking up. I'm so pretty. I'm on Gucci. I'm so pretty. Yeah. I'm gonna get it. This is Sally. That's a tool. Yeah.
Remix, Childish Gambino, This Is America. People be jamming in the studio. People be bopping in the studio. Every week.
Contraband.
All about remixes up in here, man.
They gonna find you like.
Right, too much to get into on today's show, man. Don't forget, don't miss the gig guide later on. We've got so much new gigs to give you. Incidentally, don't forget the One Nations Remix Friday is back on November the 8th, alright? Normally we're on the first Friday of each month upstairs at the Ritzy. But for a November, Ritzy made a slight hiccup with the bookings and they've double booked. So we've had to go into November the 8th, okay? November the 8th, not the first November. Not the first Friday, sorry. November the 8th, we'll be back upstairs at the Ritzy in Brixton. Why are you laughing?
No, because when I'm doing the gig guide, obviously it's first Friday, innit? So I've put...
Do you know what? I put so much effort into drilling into people's heads the first Friday, and then I get this.
Right. So
what are you going to do? Let's get into it.
Captain, this ship is now under my direction.
All right. So we have two special guests in the studio today, and I'm proud to bring the first one to you right about now. A young lady who I've been aware of for a couple of years now. I'm proud to say that she is the very first person we ever had performing at One Nation upstairs at the Ritzy in Brixton.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you were the first.
I didn't realise.
Yes. The very first. Okay. Very, very talented young woman, beautiful inside and outside, extremely passionate about what she does, and above all else, she puts in the work. Right, I'm going to talk about this woman's work ethic in a little while. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Ruth Ellen in the building, singer, songwriter, extraordinaire.
Hello.
Ruth Ellen in the building. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking the time out to come in and talk to us. We're going to talk about the new single.
Yes, my new single.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But first of all, let's kind of do a little bit of backtracking first. Singer and songwriter. Is that the best? Am I describing you accurately?
Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter.
Yes?
Yeah.
Independent?
Yes, I'm independent.
Okay. Do you want to stay that way, or do you want to, sign and glitz and glamour and all of that? Because some people prefer independence. Rather than the constraints of being signed to a label. So what's your preference?
I want the in between. So I quite like what I'm doing now, but with more support. But I need basically the contracts to be right. I need everything to be what I want it to be, and I don't think that you get that nowadays. Like, I don't think every artist that gets signed is happy with every single thing that's on there.
Got you. All right, let me see if I can just turn you up a little bit here, because we want to be able to hear you clearly.
Yes.
There we go. That's
Hello.
Hey!
Yes, we are here. We have arrived.
All right, you know what? I want to start again.
Okay.
I want to start again because I want people to catch everything that we said. So, singer, songwriter, Ruth Ellen.
Yes,
I'm describing you correctly. Singer, songwriter.
Singer-songwriter, yep.
And I was asking you, you're independent, right?
Yes, I am.
First of all, salute for that, because it ain't
Thank
easy.
you.
It ain't easy out here.
You know, not at all.
Being independent. You know what I mean? So is that by choice, or do you want to be signed, and is that your aspiration to be signed and have all of that comes with that? What's your preference?
One day, like literally one day, but I feel like I want to just be happy with everything that would be in the contract. I want to be happy with the brand or the body that would be taking me on, and I feel like I'm still searching for that. So yeah, but by searching, I'm not like hunting it down. I'm doing my thing until you know what I mean.
Everything in its time.
Exactly.
Fantastic. How long you been doing this? Singing, songwriting?
It's about 6 years.
Okay.
So since my second year of uni, and that's when I started actually being booked for gigs and being in the studio and being like, oh yeah, I actually am a singer. So yeah.
And how did it come about?
Well, I've always been involved in doing music. My sister was in events and radio from when I was younger, so I always used to tail on the back of her, going to events and stuff, and having opportunities to sing at open mic nights and so on and so forth. But it wasn't until I went to uni, my second year of uni, my dad sent me to uni, and it was just I haven't sent you there for music kind of thing. But in my second year, my friend took me to this open mic night, and I was like, oh my goodness, these people are so amazing. I suddenly just started to see myself doing music like they were. And I think I didn't realize that you could do music. I thought, I don't even know how you were able to kind of get from studying to kind of actually pursue music. So going to this open mic night and networking and stuff, I just found myself just having opportunities after opportunities. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Okay, fantastic. The new single.
Yes.
Over the Wall. Yes, tell us about it.
Okay, cool. So this single has been pending for a few years.
Really?
Yes.
What's the story?
Okay, so it's basically a love letter from God to myself. I can be quite a busybody, and I feel like there was a time where I was so busy that God couldn't even get my attention. Wow. God was trying to show me things or talk to me or direct me, show me my purpose, but I was so busy doing so many other things that it completely blocked him out. So the song basically talks about him trying to get my attention, him wanting to reassure me about my purpose in him, because sometimes it's very easy to wake up and get very bogged down and bombarded by social media and negative imagery and negative just visions about who you are, and we tend to believe those things. But God was like, no, I need you to wake up and see how I view you.
So the concept is this is a letter from
God direct
to you,
to me.
That's an amazing concept. Amazing.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a listen to the single right now. It's out now, yes?
Right now.
All platforms. iTunes,
Spotify, Tidal, whatever you like. Google Play.
All that good stuff.
I'm there. Yeah.
All right, let's take a listen to it. This is Ruth Ellen's new single. It's called Over the Wall. It is out now. Brand new sounds of Ruth Ellen, track entitled Over the Wall, is out now on iTunes and all the regular platforms. Beautiful, 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 beautiful track. Go and check it out right now. We're joined by a live and Derek in the studio.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
Beautiful track.
Thank you.
Beautiful track.
Yay.
Beautiful track. Even more beautiful now that you've told me the concept of the track.
Yes. Yeah, it is a nice track.
Thank you.
Beautiful,
Thank you
beautiful. I had this on repeat last night. I had to do my homework before I came in the studio, and I just had it on repeat. I have only one gripe.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
One gripe.
Yes.
I need more.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
I need more. You know when you hear something good and you're looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
There was no next one.
Oh, okay. I feel you.
We
gotta ride this one out a little bit because not enough people know about this one.
Okay.
But I've got so much in store. Like I've got loads of material that I'm literally sitting on. But as you said, I'm independent. I've got to make sure that each track I put out, because music is very precious to me.
Of course.
It has to have a nice bed to, be delivered on. So I am working on an EP at the moment.
That's what we've been waiting to hear.
That's so funny.
All right.
It's called The Transit.
Okay.
I have the next single almost ready. And it's my vibe is quite mellow and quite reflective, but I've got some faster tunes for you and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm very much looking forward to riding this whole wave. Over the Wall is just the beginning of this new project. But if you're really wanting more music, I do have 2 projects that are currently out from previous years.
Come on, hit us.
Yes, so my first project was released 2015. That's an EP called Life. That's mostly like live instrumentations. If you're into that kind of stuff, definitely check that out. And then 2017, Between Two Worlds. That's more like electronic type. Do you know what? Go and listen, guys. Everyone that's listening.
We're getting homework now. She's coming and giving us homework.
Because you will see the growth, and I'm like, when I listen back to them, I'll be like, oh, okay.
Do you know what? I already hear it.
Yeah. Okay.
I already hear it.
Cool.
Right? Because remember, I'm not new to you.
Yes, that's true.
So when I heard this track, I can hear the growth.
Yay.
I can hear the growth in the way you drop the vocals, the harmonies, the production. Tell us about the production on this track.
Yes, please. Shout out to Akin. Okay, so I took the melodies of the song to my friend Edro, who put the chords to it, and then we took it over to Akin. I sort of left it with Akin. So I literally gave it to him with the just the vocals and the keys, and then he sent me back this, and I absolutely loved it.
Shout out to Akin. Salute
literally.
to Akin. Salute.
I guess no, actually I did give him a reference track, but what he how overall came and like the final product, I was just so impressed. And then we worked a little bit more like with the bridge. It kind of switches up with the bridge, and I was just like, oh, I want it like this, I want it half time, that kind of stuff. So there was a bit of back and forth, but I just decided that it was very important for me to work with different people. You'll hear a lot of that on the new project. I've gone from working with like one person on like 7 songs to like working with like so many different people for like 7 songs. So yeah, I'm just trying to experiment and stuff. So yeah.
I hear that. I can hear the growth. I can hear the experimentation.
Thank you.
And when you're going into doing refixes as well. Yeah, mate. So do you know what? Let me get into this real quick.
Oh,
real quick. Let me just get into this one. All right. So as we talk about your growth, experimentation.
Oh, you've got this.
I've got this.
Yes.
I've got this, mate. Tell me about my homework. I've got this.
Come through.
Remix by Ruth Ellen. Yes, mate. I've got Up LA's Closer. Check this out. Saturday Swooping Session.
Yeah. Closer to my dreams, I'm getting higher, yeah. Closer to my dreams, I'm getting higher, yeah. Feel it in my dreams when I'm sleeping. Sometimes it feels like I'll never go past here. Sometimes it feels like I'll never grow closer to my dreams. I'm getting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Feel it in my sleep when I'm sleeping. Sometimes it feels like it's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know all the stars are closer, all the stars are closer. It's maybe the night that my dream might let me know all the stars are closer, all the stars are closer.
I'll do the feeling hard, yeah.
Yes, that is Refix. Ruth Ellen's remix of Guapele's Closer.
I just cried for no reason.
Yes, mate.
Thank you,
You've been
guys.
hiding that one. You've been hiding that one. But I found it.
Yay!
I found it.
How did you find it?
I found it on your SoundCloud.
Yeah. It's only available on SoundCloud.
Yes, mate. Do my homework. How you mean? People can't hide truth from me.
I'm done. I'm so glad you like it, man.
Love it.
Yes.
So definitely hear the progress in the music, and salute to that.
Thank
salute
you.
to that. Not in a rush for you to change it up, but it's nice to see you kind of showing that diversity in your music, and I can hear the growth, man. The first thing that came to mind when I heard the new track, Over the Wall, I can hear the growth.
Yay, that's so cool,
I can hear the progression.
man.
So I'm looking forward to what's to come. The new project you got coming out.
Yeah, man. Transit is called.
Okay.
Look out for it in the new year.
Fantastic. But you've been busy as well.
Yes.
I talked about your work ethic before, and I want to say that this is one of the things that, let me just turn this down a bit. This is one of the things that I really admire about you.
Oh, thank you.
You put in the work. You're out there. You're independent. You're young, but you are out there putting in the work. So you're putting out your own music.
Yeah.
Doing a remix of other people's music.
Yeah.
You're doing your performing. You had your own event that you were doing, running down in Brixton.
Yes, that's right.
That was a nice session. I came to at least one or two of those.
Yeah,
that
you
was
did.
a nice session as
Thank
well.
you.
You're guesting on other people's live shows. I've seen your Insta, and you got shows coming up. We supporting other artists as well.
Yeah.
Busy.
I've been about. Yes, thank you for appreciating. Because it's sometimes you're constantly going, and it's like, okay, are people seeing it, and is it reaching the people that it needs to reach? And because some people won't listen to my music but will come to a show, or vice versa.
Right.
So I got to be able to, be available, I guess, or accessible for everyone.
Now
So,
you're doing it. I see it. You're
Thank
doing
you.
it, and I see it. So
Yeah,
salute to you for putting in the work.
Thank
Props.
you.
So whatever's coming, you deserve it.
Yay! Thank
All right.
you.
So we're looking forward to the new project in the new year. The single "Over the Wall" is out now on iTunes. And what's all the other? Because I only buy from like Bandcamp. Is it on Bandcamp?
Okay. Do you know what? I don't think it's on Bandcamp.
Okay.
But it's on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Google Play, Tidal.
Pretty much everywhere else.
Everywhere else.
Except Bandcamp.
And it's on SoundCloud as well. I actually put the instrumental and the acapella on SoundCloud.
Generous.
Because
how many eyes do that?
I wanted people to just find it and kind of put their own interpretation on it. So if there's a vocalist or a rapper or whatever that wanted to...
Yeah, but give credits, yeah? If you're going to use the instrumental, credits. Yeah,
True.
Credits.
True.
All right, cool. All right. So, shows. You got any shows coming up? I saw a couple of shows you got coming up.
So I just had a run for the last few weeks. So those are over. But I did open for Sean C. Johnson. I don't know if you're familiar with him. You guys have played him a bit at... Got Soul, so I know that you guys are familiar with him.
Okay.
But Sean C. Johnson, that was a couple of weeks ago. Adelaide McKenzie, she just released an album, and I opened for her this week. So my next show is going to be my own show, which is Ruth Ellen and Friends. So what you came to a couple of years ago when we first met.
Yes.
So that's been running for 2.5 years now.
Salute.
And so we have, give or take, about 4 shows a year. And so the next one's going to be December the 6th.
Okay, December the 6th.
Yeah, which is a Thursday.
All right, so you're going to have to make sure you send us the details so we
I
can
will
put that
do
in the gig guide.
100%, I will do that, Thank you.
But December the 6th.
Yes.
And where's that happening?
That's going to be in Dogstar in Brixton. We got to keep it sound,
boom.
you know?
On my doorstep, sweet.
Yay.
Sweet. Even better.
Right, so that's just a platform for
what
me
time
to...
is that? What time?
That's a good question. 7. Doors open at 7. Let's just keep it
7 too late. 7 too late.
Yes.
All right, cool. So December the 6th at Dogstar.
Yeah, that's right.
Ruth Ellen and Friends. So I've been to one of these before, Ruth Ellen and Friends. It's a beautiful setting. It's a beautiful vibe. You know, it was intimate. The crowd was just it was almost like a family feeling.
110%.
You know, so it was real sweet. So really like that.
You came quite at the beginning though. It's grown so much since you came.
Real?
Yeah, and we've had to move into bigger venues each time, which is great. So
Love that.
yeah.
All right, December the 6th. Socials. People want to follow you, keep up with you.
Okay,
what's the socials?
So my social media handle is @itsruthellen, and that's on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm heavily on Instagram. So yeah, defo look for me there.
That's the main one.
ITSRUTHELLEN.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Nah, listen, you know
This
we're
is
always
great,
here.
man.
We're always behind you, man.
Yeah,
Whether it's
appreciate
One
it.
Nation, whether it's here. Like I said, you were the first. And it's like you kind of set the bar.
Didn't realise that I was the first.
You were the first. Of all the live artists, all the performers, singers, MCs, comedians.
Okay.
You were the first on our
okay.
stage upstairs at Ritzy.
That
You were
was
the
a great
first.
evening, man.
It
Thank
was.
you.
And everybody loved you, and you just set the bar
That's
for
so
everybody
cool.
who's come after you.
Yay.
So thank you. So you don't know we're behind you, whether it's there, whether it's here. We got you.
Thank you.
Ruth Ellen, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, the single Over the Wall is out now on all platforms. Make sure you go and cop that right now. Beautiful track with a beautiful story, as you just heard. All the more reason to make sure you go and support it, alright? Right, time is 10 to 5. Saturday Super's in full swing. I know we got so much still to give you. You look like you're about to say something, Sims.
No, I was
or you
just
were gonna
saying
like that. You just gave me that like mumsy, you want to beat me, or you just trying to reach for something and lash after me across the studio look. I know that look, you know. I know that look. And you got glasses too. I know that look. Yeah, over the glasses. What we saying? We saying?
I ain't saying nothing.
Okay, so what
I was watching you like doing your thing. Studying.
All right. We're gonna get into one more tune, and then we're gonna some other business to deal with, and then we're gonna get into speaking to our second guest, Adrian Stone. Looking about tracing your ancestry and your heritage, part of our Black History Month special, right here on Saturday Super on iLive UK. Right, let's get into some more music, shall we? Shall we do that? Sounds of Funky DL featuring Van Loco, track entitled Bonfire. Shout out to all the hip hop heads across the UK. Loads of gigs for you in the gig guide as well, alright? Don't miss it.
Bonfire blood, a bonfire too. Bonfire blood, a bonfire too. Bonfire blood, a bonfire too. Bonfire blood, a bonfire. Bonfire blood, a bonfire.
Don't forget you can catch us on all the socials. Saturday Soup Show, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's all the same. Keep up.
Read the torch, articulate the truth of my thoughts. Ferocious in war, and lyrically raw. I'm more than you for. Illustrating my cause with the kind of precision of a Beretta. It's just a short step to the Omega with two hands together like a prayer or a beggar. Y'all can never sound better. That's a fable. The night of the round table. I slice your bacon with your bagel with a double-edged dagger to cut the chit chatter. My battalion is battered. The venom of dark matter. Your darkness is black. My darkness is much blacker. The verbally deranged Don Logan. I bring a gift that's a Trojan and fill up with romans. A holy dash, just a token for you to go home with when you get caught slipping and get stuck in the moment. It ain't broken. Don't try to fix it. You ain't a craft maker, and I ain't never off the grid like I'm graph paper. I'm so fly when it's 747. Egg time, you rhyme, give you 7 more seconds. Next time you try, bring 7 more weapons. I was born in the year of 7 times 11. 7 times the legend, 7 times you threaten. The word on the streets, you did 7 times the sweating. You say you fire, I'ma show you what a fire do. You burn fire blood, I burn fire too.
Bonfire blood, a bonfire too. Bonfire blood, a bonfire too. Bonfire blood, a bonfire too. Bonfire blood, a bonfire. Bonfire blood, a bonfire too. Bonfire blood, a bonfire too. Bonfire blood, a bonfire too. Bonfire blood, a bonfire.
Yeah, flame resistant, mic controllers. I state my business, might provoke with my ignorance, so you might be broken by this vigorous dialect that's spoken by the Caesar around speakers. I give you seizures, send you back the way you came from, and take your visas. Releases upon releases, blow you to pieces. You can take out a lease besides where the deceased live. Came from the east where the sun don't set, where your style's no name like Columbo's pet. You go on the ground control like a jumbo jet, so they can show you where to go when you come home wrecked. And don't start, you're only bound to be good for parts with no good reviews and no great remarks, yo. Suited up in slick street apparel, and I never had to battle with the bottom of a barrel. It may sound narrow, but it does sound right. So put your hands back in your pocket, don't be touching the mic, cause y'all ain't never been ready. Never paid the levy, never came hard and never made the squad. Never came close, I
bloke is one angry, naughty, aggressive crocodile. Crocodile, real new, they should know.
Real DJ. Don't just come up here and play tune and press buttons. Real DJ.
That's right. That's right. Like the man says.
Is it?
Don't start with me today, you know. I'm ready for you, you know. I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you. Let's have a little DJ competition right here, yeah? Funky DL with Bonfire featuring Van Loco. Right, we got so much to get through on today's show, and I think we're kind of running behind a little bit, so let's get into it. Heads up to next week's show. Ladies who are experiencing the menopause. Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Not just the ladies, fellas who are suffering the effects of women who are going through that. You see that? You see that? You see that? People know. People know. Right? So next week we're going to be talking about the menopause. All right, and we have a special guest, Karen Arthur, does a lot of workshops and a lot of work around the menopause with women. She's going to be in on next week's show, talking us through some of this stuff and helping us to have a better understanding of what that is and what that's all about.
Okay.
Yep. So next week's show, talking about the menopause.
Also, next week as well, we have a guest called Stephen Oram from Proud and Gifted. So he's going to be in the studio talking about his organisation. I kind of stumbled across him sometime last year, and basically he highlights young people doing great things. So whether they've gone off to Eton or whatever achievement they've done, he highlights that.
Cool, good.
So looking forward to that as well.
Lovely. And then the following week we have Comfort, who helps a lot of people with business strategies and helping develop business strategies and business systems. We're having a great conversation at Got Soul last week, and she's a walking encyclopedia of business systems knowledge. So myself and ASA, DJ NK, we were saying, yo, you need to get out there, man, and share this info with the people. So she's agreed to do that. She's going to be launching a new podcast helping people in business or who want to get into business. So she will be joining us on the last show of the month. I think it's the 29th. And also Samantha will be joining us that day for a monthly health special as well. So lots coming up for the rest of the month right here on Saturday Soup. And of course, each week we'll be doing a special feature on Black History as well as it's Black History Month. Not just history past, but people like Tyler Perry and so on who's making history now. Know what I mean? Yeah. So heads up the next couple of weeks here on Saturday Soup. Well, we've got about 2 minutes to go until the top of the hour, so we haven't really got time to play any more tunes. But I want to talk before we finish the show. I have to talk about Amber Geiger some more, man, because I don't even know if we should start tonight because that's 2 minutes, and I'm like, I got so much to talk about on that.
Try and crunch it in somehow.
Joshua Brown. Okay, so one of the main witnesses in the case, Joshua Brown, who testified, he was Botham's neighbor. He lived opposite Botham, and he gave testimony about what happened. And he basically, after his testimony, 10 days later, he was found killed in a parking lot in Dallas. And of course, all the suspicions are around whether or not the Dallas police had something to do with it, because he was basically testifying for Botham, for his friend. 10 days later, after this woman's been found guilty and convicted of murder, Joshua Brown winds up dead in a parking lot. So, man, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to connect the dots on this one. Dallas police are trying to say that it was a drugs-related shooting. I don't know which person who's in drugs who's giving testimony about the police is gonna be out selling drugs like heavyweight 10 days after that, when the eyes of the world are on them. Anyway, we'll talk about more about that a bit later on. We got to go for the ad breaks now. More and our special guest Adrian Stone after the break right here on Saturday Soup. Soon come.
This is Chicola, and you're listening to iLive Radio. Changing the way you listen to radio.
Hey, what's good, y'all? This is Darian Dean, and you are listening to iLive Radio, the home of soul and people that love soul.
This is Blaze from the DMV on iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to music.
Hey, this is Terry Remsen, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio.
Tune
tuned into the greatest.
This bloke is one angry, naughty, aggressive crocodile. Look at that, real new. They should know.
Real DJ. Don't just come up here and play tune and press buttons. Real DJ.
Saturday Soup on iLive Radio. All the organic goodness you need. Everybody needs some Saturday Soup. Okay, welcome back after the ad break. Saturday Soup still in session right here, DJ Croc and Sims Mode. It's after 5 o'clock, so we have to take it back in time a little bit, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this week. A track that we call this from the old to the new. Classic, exclusive remix of a classic by Junior Giscombe. Exclusive One Nation remix by yours truly. Rare groove to drum and bass. After this, going to be speaking to our second special guest up in the building. Make sure you don't miss that, alright?
So you call this Rare Groove?
I said from Rare Groove to drum and bass.
No, but you're saying this track though.
Yeah, I'd call this a Rare Groove track. I have it in my.
Wondered,
To be honest, it's not even in my Rare Groove folder. It's in my 80s folder, but still. Okay. Anyway, we digress.
Days when the warm light of the sun feels your life now.
You're listening to iLive
in a way
Radio.
That change follow all so clear. Nothing can go wrong. Now you're moving in the positive way.
Yes, exclusive One Nation remix of Junior Giscom's classic Morning Will Come. We call that Morning Soon Come. One Nation drum and bass remix available on SoundCloud. I put a free download link on it as well for those who want to copy that one. Check it out. Crocodile 248 on SoundCloud.
As a connoisseur.
Oh, here we go. 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 Oh, really? Really? Okay, cool. Big up DJ Deep Sound. Popped his head around the door and says, yeah, I need this tune. I need this tune. And we didn't, manners. We didn't even salute DJ Deep Sound at the beginning of the show. Yeah. Salute to DJ Deep Sound, sir. Manners. For the drum and the beats and bass show.
Yes.
From 2 till 4.
4 every Saturday.
Manners. And you were brocking out in here.
Of course.
And then you didn't even remember. You didn't even remember yourself. You were in here brocking out.
Well, this is what I do when
like you were back in All Nations or something, or one of them little shebeen spots.
No, more like Jungle Fever or AWOL or something. Yeah.
Look at her face. Yeah. Look at her. Anyway, we digress. Second part of Saturday Soup Show here on Saturday, bringing you all the organic goodness you need. We have our very special guest, our second special guest in the studio. Now, is it right to describe you as a historian?
Genealogist.
Okay.
In combination with his historian. And
Adrian Stone is up in the building. Welcome. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
I mean the vibes. I love the vibes.
Love the vibes.
Yes. I mean, you made me think about the shebeens. You made me think about it. I was in the corner kind of crubbing. I was there.
You were thinking about the backs of some clothes. The jackets that got messed up in it.
Yeah, I was thinking, can I still do it? Have I got the moves? That tune brought it out a little bit, just a little bit. I love it.
Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We've been hearing some amazing things about you and the work that you're doing. Sims was the one that brought you to my attention.
Yeah, because someone by the name of Lee Can, if I'm saying his name.
Yeah, Lee Can.
Told me about you, and I was like, I definitely need you on the show, because it's like, it's amazing what you do, and it's like, obviously, people who don't know, well, I don't know if you still do it, but you was a music producer.
No past tense, because it's still in the blood, right? It's not gone nowhere.
Okay. No, but
come back full circle.
I saw the likes of who you worked with, like Rodney P and Kamani and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm Ronnie Size.
Yeah.
Salute to you for that. Like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, tell me how you got into being a genealogist.
Wow. Going back 10 years, just over 10 years.
Hold on, listen, for those who don't understand what genealogy is.
Okay, so break it down. What is genealogy?
Let me break it down. So genealogy is about looking at certain historical events, life events in your pedigree chart, your family tree, and those events are things like birth records, marriage records, death records that document our ancestral lives. Right. So we're looking at your grands, your greats, and your great-greats, but we need to look at their history and where they were living and those events that recorded their lives. So genealogy is about doing a family tree to keep it basic.
Okay.
Yeah. And when people say the history, the family history is about the lives they lived, the type of jobs that they did, the occupations and things like that.
Right.
All right. Okay. So that's what a historian would more cover. And I look at your ancestral lineage and when they were born, going right back to as far as you can.
This sounds so deep and complex, because the amount of times I've wanted to trace my family, like deep family history and ancestry, and I'm like, where do I even begin?
It's very true, because it's like, where do you start? Like, how do you go about doing that?
Well, that trail for me, that beginning for me started at home. My mother, going back 10 years, she fell ill, and that's what kind of sparked it to make me think, wow, like, because she almost passed, and she did, pass away. That's her life, and that's her history. Right. That history that we've never really discussed about when she first came to England. So my family are from Bristol, even though I've been in London for many, many years. My roots are there, and I was just thinking, all the family that are there, how are we connected? How are we related? When did she come to England? When did my grandparents come? And I couldn't have that conversation with them because they left. They died very when I was in my teens. So and culturally we kind of don't really discuss our history, which is why many of us grow as adults and don't know.
Yeah,
but you know what I get that history is not discussed with. I'm the youngest of my siblings, and so I have this thing of being the baby, the wash belly, whatever, you know. But I get there's an age thing, whereas the elders would know all of this and they would share all this info amongst themselves, but it wasn't always necessarily passed down to the youth, because when you're among the elders, you shut your mouth. You don't get to engage in those sort of hierarchical conversations because that's a cultural thing that we do. So I think
for me, I was kind of lucky to get a little bit about it, especially like with my great grandparents. I knew a little bit, but not so
from over here or from listening from back or them telling you directly.
No, they were telling me directly.
Okay,
yeah, but it wasn't like they were going in depth because obviously I was young, so they probably didn't think that I would understand it all, but just give me the basics and stuff like that.
Okay, and you're around it. I mean, that's the thing with the grandparents, as they they grow old in life, they do pass down their history to the children, to the grandchildren that will probably looking after them in a late age. So many of the people that I've spoken to can tell me stories about what their grandparents told me. But that journey started 10 years ago through my mother, and I started thinking, let me just put down a tree right there. I was in intensive care ward second day that she was in wild because we really thought she was going, really did. And I started thinking about family and life, my role within the family, and what my purpose is. And she was the family orientated one. She all the family came to family. Saturday soup and everything else too. I'm expecting some soup. Where's the soup there? I'm thinking some soup. I didn't even eat today. Yeah, so let me talk about issue on the empty belly. Listen, people.
You're not the first one to come in and say that. We're actually gonna have to start serving up soup for our guests. People come in and expect now.
I figured the pot must be in here. Okay, it's not.
Someone come in here and said Saturday soup show with no soup. That's not a good look for us. That's not a good look.
We're gonna sort that out.
So it started about 10 years ago for you, in terms of doing the genealogy and tracing your ancestry and stuff, and now you've taken this sort of a step further now.
Wow, yeah, a big step. I mean, from when I started, because in the beginning it was just for me.
Yeah,
it was just for the family. In the long run. Well, I was just thinking, let me get the answers first. Yeah. And one of my cousins gave me the basic breakdown. This is what you got to do. Sort of like talk to the elders, ask them what they know. Yeah. We're not looking for skeletons. We're not looking for nothing like that. But that's what people sometimes may think. Yeah. You have to show them, that you're doing this with a pure heart and for the greater good of the family. So I built that basic family tree going back to, my greats. I don't even know if you have any idea how far I went back over that 10 years. Tracing how many? I'm asking you the question. I'm going to ask you how many. I'm going to ask a different question because I'm not trying to reverse it. But in terms of your family tree, how far can you go back?
I can go back as far as my grandmother. Not even great. My grandmother.
I can go back to great. I think great.
My grandmother on my mum's side, that is.
Oh well, for me it would be my mum's side.
Yeah. I can't even go that far back on my dad's side. I can only go back as far as my grandmother on my mum's side.
Oh, okay, so I think on my mum's dad's side is great as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right. So
how far did you?
You're a step further than me, and I was in the same boat as you, but I didn't know the names. I just called them Mama and Papa.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That's what was amazing. Didn't know the first names or last names, so I'm lost from my grandparents. Right. Even though I could have got the answer, but as I said, there was a brick wall. There's a wall. We're talking about talking to our parents about history and things like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I traced over 6,000 ancestors on my family tree.
What?
Going back over 10 generations, and it was no easy task. I don't want to make it sound like I just asked a few questions. No, I went into the historical records that are available, and that's some of the things that I teach today. Coming back to your question about the work I do today is helping people take that first step, give them guidance for a practical learning workshop called Tracing Your Windrush Roots, which definitely is inspired from the Windrush scandal that happened. We're all asking those questions. I think now even more so about our identity and even looking at our African roots. There's many sort of DNA companies that are now providing that service to look at your origins.
Ancestry.com or something like that.
There's a few of them. We're not getting paid. We're not calling their names.
Sorry.
it was cool.
So there's a few.
Yeah, them over there, sir.
See the number over there? Yeah. Do that too. But no, it's important to, because it's very overwhelming, you know what I mean, to kind of go through the steps. And through my workshop, I show people step by step, give them case studies, even using myself as a case study, my journey and how I traced it. And there's some amazing sort of sources that you can find, whether they're online or whether in the archives, looking at the Caribbean. So my research looks at our Caribbean ancestors, our African roots as well, and evidence of that in the Caribbean, and looking at some of the sources that you never believe that exists.
So we're talking about. Sorry to interrupt, but before I lose my trail of thought here, we're talking about resources and sources that are available now. So you haven't got. There's no special. No, they're not locked in some vault somewhere or secret coding access or whatever. This is stuff that's available to people now.
Crazy. They're locked in my mind. They're locked in Lambeth College, and that's the only way to unlock it. If you're coming to one of these workshops when I show you how. And some people have started that journey, and it's the same thing that happens, you know, along the lines. There's a brick wall, you get stuck. And that was the reason, you know, just years ago when I used to work in the archives, just on my own journey, on my own family tree, when the newbies used to come, I used to kind of feel like, I want to assist, I want to help, I'm going to give them guidance, share my knowledge, because, you know, that's what it's about, sort of empowering our, you know, our people to get that same joy, you know. When you find that record, you know, for example, my grandparents were born 1927, my grandfather 1929, but I'm the son of a, you know, of the Windrush, because my mother was born in Jamaica as well, and that's where my research is. But to find his actual birth certificate and see his parents, my great-grandparents, handwriting on the certificate, and, you know, when they were registered, loads of different myths that people, you may have heard that maybe the record office was flooded, the records maybe got a different name or a pet name, things like that. But when you find evidence of it,
must be amazing, amazing,
mind-blowing, and that's what kind of kept me going, because I want to find the next generation.
So your workshops are about helping people who want to take the same journey that you did with their family and their ancestry, and you help them to basically trace their ancestry. Is that right?
That's right.
Fantastic.
And you know, my company is called Own History. The workshop itself is called Tracing Windrush Roots. But it's all about enlightening people that this knowledge, you know, this workshop exists. So I've done a lot of work by going to different events, festivals, or different heritage events, you know, treating this like a music project, to be honest, like looking at this as the release, and to let people know that this is what you can do, you know, just at your fingertips, even in the comfort of your own home. So it's important for me to kind of like have that presence, you know, whether it's in the high streets, whether, like I say, all different types of venues, libraries, just to show people this is, you know, the most important important event you're ever going to go to, because you're investing in your own self, your own history.
And I'm taking it, just one more question before we just drop a tune, and then we're going to talk some more about this a bit more later in the show. But I'm taking it that, or I'm assuming, I should say, because I've not done this, so I'm assuming that this is almost like it's like a never-ending journey, because you can't really get to the end of this journey, can you? If you're tracing your ancestry, you can just keep going for as long as the records will allow you to go. Is that? I don't know how long it took you to get to where the stage where you got to.
You see, in the beginning, I wasn't trying to find every ancestor. It was just that question. My grandparents, what's their names? When were they born? You know, when were they married? When did they come to Bristol, where I'm from? Do you know what I mean? I went to Jamaica in 2002, and I felt that was home. You know, in some ways, because my family grew up in Clarendon, in a district called Cumsey and the Burn. There's so many different names that I knew nothing about. And when I was young, I used to remove myself from conversations because I didn't know much about my roots. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
That's where the ignorance kicks in, because you don't know. So don't ask me, I don't know. You know what I mean? So I wanted to know. So as a young man, a young boy, I've grown to not learn anything new about my history, and it's important for me to ask those questions and, you know, start that journey of discovery.
Love it, absolutely love that. And this is something for all ages. I know we just mentioned about as you as a young boy, and I'm sure this is something that can be applied or be useful or benefit to all ages and all levels of the community, because as you said, there is a real knowledge gap when it comes to our ancestry. You know, even from just immediate ancestry. Just imagine just your grandparents. You know, I don't even know who my grandmother or grandfather is on my dad's side. You know what I'm saying? So just that immediate, I'm not even talking about deep, long ancestry. Just immediate history is a gap. You know, and to find it would be, like you said, just such a joy. You know what I mean? We're going to talk. So on, go on.
No, we got a break, right? This conversation can keep you going for hours.
We could. I could talk about it for the rest of the evening. We're going to run one more tune and we're going to come back and speak some more to Mr. Adrian Stone in the building about tracing your ancestry. I'm going to ask him some more about the workshop that he's got coming up. So if you're interested in doing this, stay tuned. You can find out exactly where that workshop is, when it's happening, and you can get involved and start tracing your ancestry yourself as well. Saturday Soup is in session right here on iLive UK. Soon come. Back with some more remix pressure for your ear. Remix of D'Angelo's Spanish joint.
Whenever it rains,
Saturday Soup on iLive Radio. All the organic goodness you need. Everybody needs some Saturday Soup.
Bossy, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Bossy, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy. But bang, 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 ay.
Hey yo, Idris, tell them what they're gonna take the piss. When it's the feast, step out, do that turn up in a dish. Body comfortable, I'm physically fit. I'm brown and sweet, just like the chocolate. Yo, Wiley, them ones don't like me. Got than a pussy pretty with the okra body. Shut down in the city with me bad cat pussy. Every man want piece of me. The back of them a pop and them a bun weed. Man want wine behind me have to move crime dusty. I'm looking for a brother who got hella pounds. 079, baby, I'm a hammer to the shop.
Bossy, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Bossy, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy.
Hey yo, Sean.
Hey.
So when me spitty bunny with it, maybe gala get with it. Spitty bunny with it, maybe gala get. When me chuppy bunny with it, maybe gala get with it. Wind up your body and spin it. Girl, when you bubble out of trouble, why you give me this something now? Turn it around and bring it. You're pressing it back on and never push that button, my girl, down, but I go and timid. Once you broke out and fling it. Once your body shaking up to the limit. Once you wild out to wild it to S to the base, step London and mid and Egypt. Is it?
I came to rap it up, do my thing. Shabby put me on the gram and a remix thing. Hold tight Wiley with the Pacino flow. Godfather part 2, call me the Nero. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. Disrespect, man, get a slap on the chin. Man a king, man a top, oh Larry, man a big DJ, Ox, Megan and Harry. Boss, yeah, man a boss, yeah. I make it get melt like a toasty. I've been this way someday. And I write for myself, no ghosting.
He's a boy got money in a bank on. Ready for roll and blaze up this cancan. Got the girls from Jamwan to Hong Kong. The girl them champion. In it.
Bossy, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Bossy, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy. I fly around the world cause I'm bossy. Bossy.
Now tuned into the greatest.
This bloke is one angry, naughty, aggressive crocodile. Crocodile, real you, they should know.
Real DJ. Don't just come up here and play tune and press buttons. Real DJ.
Right, welcome back. After a brief interlude with some more hot remixes. Still joining the studio of our very special guest, one of our special guests, Adrian Stone.
That's right.
Up in the building, talking about searching for our ancestry, genealogy, and digging up our ancestry. Digging up, is that? Should I say that? That's kind of what it is like, though. It's a search. It's a real. Yeah, it's like digging up your ancestry.
That's like what it is, digging up your roots. That's the saying, because you really are going deep.
Absolutely.
Deep into them.
And so you've got some events coming up where you help people to do this if they want to do this, right?
That's right.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so the next one I've got coming up. I've got a few coming up, and my brain has got like just focus on which one. So much going on. The big one, we've got one at Excel London as part of Roots Tech.
Okay.
So Roots Tech are doing the world's biggest genealogy event. It's a 3-day one, October the 24th, 25th and the 26th.
Okay.
I'm doing 2 talks called Tracing Your Windrush Roots, and also how one man traced 6,000 ancestors.
Wow.
Across 250 years across 3 continents. Doing a special talk on that. But where you can get involved and trace your own history and bring your own family tree. One of the only workshops really within the UK where you can actually bring your own family tree and get assistance. A computer-based talk, computer-based session taking place at Lambeth College on the 7th of December. We have another date that's happening in this month, but it's all sold out. So every one that I've delivered so far, they just sell out. So 7th of December is the next one, and you can book that through Eventbrite. Go to own.history for some more details as well through Instagram.
And the 7th of December, that's the one in Lambeth.
Yeah,
right?
So Lambeth College seems to be the home where I'm delivering it. You can get it through my company, Own History for Eventbrite. You can Google there or go direct to own.history through Instagram. And you can book on. It's £25 for a 4-hour session. Nice. It's incredible because nobody wants to leave because the search is really on. It's as I said, you can get an idea of how to search for me using myself as a case study, and I'll show you how I trace my history, starting with my mother and her parents. I've done both lines through my family tree.
Yeah.
But the incredible thing that most people want to find is their African roots, and that's one thing I've actually done a few times on my tree. Trace my lineage right back for the paper trail to my 5th great grandmother called Igbo Venus, who came from Nigeria. So those are the kind of things that you can do on the workshop, possibly.
Fantastic, because that's what I was gonna ask you, because it's called Tracing Your Windrush Ancestry. I wanted to know how far back we were going, because typically when people say Windrush, people think Caribbean, and not understand that Windrush is not just people from the Caribbean, but that's what people tend to refer to because it was the Empire Windrush, and that's people tend to make that connection. But I wanted to know how far we go. Can we go right back to the African continent?
That's right. It is actually possible. I guess with with the Windrush, people will come up to me and say, "Well, I don't have any Windrush roots. I don't have any." But we're speaking about that generation that came, that wave that came from 1948 to 1960 that settled here, and their roots and going beyond. And how far beyond can you go? And we're looking at the English when the conquest of Jamaica. The records were started from then. So from the 1600s, it's possible to find records, baptisms from that period. And if you're looking at your ancestors who were enslaved, many people want to find, they get a brick wall when they research and they can't get back to that period, from 1830 and beyond. I'll show you for the workshop some of the sources that you can use to access your ancestors by having a basic family trees, maybe just starting from your grandparents who were born from the 1930s. So just to give you an idea, from the 1930s you can find some incredible things such as birth records. If you know the details, or if you don't, I will still show you the skills and the knowledge that goes with it to navigate through the records.
This is amazing, man. I could literally just spend the rest of the evening here just talking to you about this stuff. Seriously, it's amazing, and it's so crucial to the African and African Caribbean community in particular, because of our history in being in this country, and the gaps that have come about because of our history. Even just we're talking about tracing our Windrush ancestry. I mean, just look at what has happened with the whole Windrush scandal, and the way the records were done in such a shabby, disgraceful, slapdash way on both sides, to be honest, because I know that with my parents as well, we say, boy, sometimes we used to put the date like this, I put this date because you had to be a certain age for this and do that, and then you got to be like, well, what is actually your right birthday? What's the right birthday?
Exactly,
like my dad now, there was like a running thing about what is dad's actual birthday,
right? Because I used to get a bit confused with the year with my mum,
right?
Because there's 2 different years,
right?
It's only when I looked on her passport I see the right year. So
my dad now has on his documents, he has one date of birth on one official document and another date of birth on another one. So all them little things.
Listen, I think I've heard it all. There's some crazy stories. Some people have traveled on their siblings' passport. Things like that. It's crazy, honestly. I don't know what they done back home, but yeah, they couldn't travel in their own name. So things like that, just to kind of verify the facts.
You can get through all that.
Yeah, it's possible. I never want to say it's I can definitely give you the answer, but I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to give you the knowledge about how to. And one of the interesting things on birth certificates, you can see when that event was registered.
Okay.
And it's not easy, because I could, one of the things I've done over time as well. It's important to share, the research with not just my family but the extended family. So it was my sort of mission to connect with distant relatives that lived here in London. At the time, being here for 16 years, I didn't know any family at all.
Wow.
I didn't really know any apart from my children's family. And I started to discover there was family on my street. On my street, at the end of my street,
that's another important reason why you need to know your ancestry and who your family, who your relatives are. Exactly. Mate, that's a whole other show.
You hear the elders talk about who's who and what tree they fall from, but it's real, especially when like I said, you have the knowledge of your tree and you can place people. So one of the cousins I found on my street, her son, she had 10 children, but one of the children, her son, was my son's sports teacher. So that's how close it was.
Wow.
Things like that. Started doing the research, and then my background, obviously is in music before this. It was a crazy transition to get into this, and I'm definitely coming back full circle in that. And just one of the ever discoveries that I found is that LMA is my cousin.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So things like that, which also DNA helped discover. But I had the paper trail, I had the birth records and the marriage records to prove these connections.
Okay.
And that's some of the things you're going to realize, that we could be cousins.
Fantastic. So that's the workshop that's going to be happening the 7th of December at Lambeth College. Do you take this into schools or youth clubs for young people?
That's something this is the reason why we're doing the work, is to pass it on to the younger generation. We're trying to kill that cycle where they, because every person that passes away, that's a book that's gone. So for me to just have that knowledge is pointless. The younger generation needs to access it. They're going to be the future genealogists, the future historians. And I actually went back to my infant school, my junior school, and did a presentation about my journey. And that for me was so important, to go back to my roots and pass on that knowledge, and inspire that next future person. So lots of work I'm interested in doing around young people and around the creative side of things. So it's not just doing the paper trail as well. Lots of different ways to express our identities, but using the information from the paper trail to tell these stories. We all got to find our stories.
Oh, definitely.
And and before time,
because each generation passes on to the next.
That's right.
And if this generation or this young generation of young people, if they don't get this information, then at some point we run the risk of us being cut off.
Well, it kind of has, because it's like, I feel our generation got some knowledge of, like,
but not all of it.
Not all of it,
not
but
enough.
we got some of it. But I think going on to the next generation, I think there's been a gap.
There is a gap.
Absolutely.
But what's beautiful is that those generations come to the workshop. I've seen 3 generations in the workshops.
Nice.
When I'm at events, it's always surprising, because I will ask the young children, do they know their grandparents? And it's absolutely amazing, beautiful to see that they do sometimes, and they do have an interest. We always undermine young people, think that they don't know anyone but themselves, because they made themselves. Yes, we have those ones, but we have others who will take a deep interest. But it's about that place. It's about that place where they can get that support, and that's one of the the projects that I'm next going to do.
So we can look forward to seeing this in schools.
Absolutely,
in the future.
Yeah. There's different strands to our business and what I'm going to be doing. This is the own history, and the first one was Project Me, just for myself to look at my identity, and the second part of it was to go out to the community and deliver these workshops and make it accessible, practical,
man,
and your own history too. Not about the general heroes that we know. We're looking at your heroes in your family tree, finding them, and then bringing your family together. And that's what it does. It brings one record can bring your whole family together with family reunions and things like that. The information is powerful, which has taken me on such an amazing journey, especially over the last year. It has been incredible. And even North London, doing work with Tottenham Hotspur's Heritage Foundation. So my work goes from Birmingham to Manchester, Bristol, different areas that all want to know and may have started. And that's what's so important. That's why it's so important to go out into the community and have those conversations.
I'm glad to hear you taking it over the country, because this is so needed. So needed. It's so important. And I think even just to talk about it feels like I don't even feel like I'm doing it justice in terms of the importance of what you're doing. So I want to say salute to you, sir. Seriously, salute to you for what you're doing, because this is so important on so many levels that people probably aren't even comprehending how important this work is that you're doing. So I really look forward to seeing this rolling out more. I really look forward to seeing it more in more focused on the young people can get access to it, whether it means schools or whatever youth services are left in this day and age in this country. Socials, if people want to get at you and find out more about this, how can they get at you? Your website or
the website is coming. It's ownhistory.co.uk. You can reach me for Instagram. That's own.history as well. Facebook is open to Adrian Stone. Google Adrian Stone, you'll find me straight away. And you can also follow my journey. You can see the trail over the last year or so and all the different events I've been a part of as well, to give you an idea of what the experience is like for people attending these workshops. That's something I'm really like to show your stories as well as my own. So if you're really interested, come along. We have the workshops happening at Lambeth College on the 7th of December. You can book through Eventbrite, and that's tracing your Windrush routes at .eventbrite.co.uk.
Love it, brother. Thank you so much. I could literally I know we've got other stuff we've got to cover in the rest of the show, but I could easily just discard all of that and just talk about this for the rest of the show. But we're going to get through some other official business as well. I would love to talk more. 7th of December.
7th of December. And if you're in Stoke-on-Trent, I'm doing an event there as well. Bristol, there's events coming.
You know what? You're going to need to send us
Jump
dates.
on. Yeah, we're going to get the dates out.
Gig guide, and we give out events to the people, so I want to make sure that people have these dates.
Absolutely.
When we give it out all the time every week. Yeah.
Thank you so much
Adrian
for having
Stone,
me.
Thank you. Wow. I feel like we've just had a this is your life kind of experience up in here, man. Amazing. Make sure you get in touch with Adrian via any one of his socials that he's just given out. 7th of December, Lambeth College. Go on Eventbrite to get your tickets for that. Sounds like it's going to be an amazing session, and I want to be there. It's in my neck of the woods, so I got no excuse. Want more of this? Amazing. Love it. Right, time is 5:42 by my reckoning. We've got about 50 minutes left of the show. We've got so much to get through. So, you know what? Let's keep it cracking.
Captain, this ship is now under my direction.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Right, I haven't given out or played too much reggae on this afternoon show. I haven't played much soca or anything. We've had so much to get through. So much.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
But Queen Africa, track entitled Lioness on the Rise. After this, we're going to get into the gig guide. Lots of gigs to give this week.
When the roll is called out, I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof. But if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name. I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. Never say never, willingness forever to fight and be strong. Once it's for better, I'll write every letter and moving right along. And I'll roll with the punches, accept changes, work with the formula, do what I have to do. And call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. When you are willing to serve, we have room to observe, to see if you can walk the walk you tell. Let me give you my word, my voice must be heard. Bravery is a piece of my heart. Call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. A lioness is on the rise, don't ever have no doubt.
Captain, this ship is now under my direction.
Saturday Soup on iLive Radio. All the organic goodness you need. Everybody needs some Saturday Soup.
One nation. Look at that renewed. They should live.
Yo, this is Lamar bigging up DJ Crocodile playing the best in party joints.
Do you know what it means to have a revolution? And what it takes to make a solution? Do you know what it means to have a revolution? And what it takes to make a solution? Are you ready to stand up and fight the right revolution? Battery gas pressure. Do you know what it means to have a revolution? Do you know what it means to have a revolution?
Remix sounds once again. Another craze refix. Dennis Brown's Revolution. Top of the hour, we got Claus, aka Miss Ouch, up with the Independent Injection Show. Yeah, aka Miss Hey Hey Hey. Right, 5:48. And we got so much to get through. Let's get into some gigs, man. Let's get into some gigs. Right, gigs. Oh, we got. Oh man, I want to talk about that Amber Geiger thing as well, you know. But let's get. All right, do some gigs and then we get into that. All right, gigs. Let's start off with reminding you, November the 8th, please. One Nation's next Remix Friday. Normally on the first Friday of the month, but I have to try and drill this into people's heads. For November, it's not going to be the first Friday.
You have to do one of your videos again.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm way ahead of you. So for November the 8th, One Nation's Remix Friday, we're back upstairs at the Ritzy. And now the music, games and karaoke after the success of the boat party this month. Because we didn't do the Friday this month because we were on the boat. So we're back November the 8th upstairs at the Ritzy, alright? Just because Ritzy made a slight hiccup with the booking. So we're not on the first Friday of November, the second Friday, November the 8th. Music, games and karaoke upstairs at the Ritzy in Brixton from 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. in the morning. Tickets available on Eventbrite. October the 12th, Beverly Knight sings the songs of Stevie Wonder. She did one last night, and tonight she's going to be at the Bath Forum in Bath. Tomorrow she's going to be at the Bournemouth International Centre, and then on the 14th she's going to be at the Symphony Hall in Birmingham. Beverly Knight sings the songs of Stevie Wonder. Also tonight, Aswad are going to be under the bridge in London. Tomorrow you can catch myself playing at the Satay Bar in Brixton for Sunday brunch. That's from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. I've got two lists here. Tomorrow, Satay Bar, Sunday brunch in Brixton. Right, I'm working off two lists here, so excuse me. Got Soul also on tomorrow, and each and every Sunday at the South Place Hotel in Moorgate. Got Soul, still the UK's only weekly neo soul lounge, from 6 p.m. until midnight at South Place Hotel, and it's free entry all night. Also today you got Black Girl Fest at the Business Design Centre in Angel in London. Tickets for that one available on Eventbrite. Also tonight, Love to Laugh takes place at Hoxton Hall, East London, and at your side of your neck of the woods.
Hoxton Hall is in N1.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's nowhere near you in Hackney then.
It is. But
so
yeah.
why are you trying it? Why are you trying it? Anyway. What else we got? We got Sunday brunch we've already done. Carol Thompson, Thursday the 17th. Carol Thompson is going to be at the Jam House in Birmingham. And then also on Friday the 25th, she's at the Hideaway in Streatham. Carol Thompson. On the 18th, there's loads of gigs on the 18th of October. The Black Movie Festival kicks off on the 18th, which salutes movies with all black casts and starring black actors. That happens from the 18th of October until Sunday the 27th of October. That's the Black Movie Festival. Also on the 18th, you got Angie Stone, who's at the O2, Indigo at the O2 in London. I should have said the day before that, on the 17th, she's at the O2 Institute in Birmingham. That's Angie Stone at the O2 Institute in Birmingham on the 17th, and Indigo at the O2 in London on the 18th. More gigs for the 18th. Shalimar, are going to be at the O2 Academy in Bournemouth. Shalimar here with their UK tour. I'm not going to read off all the places where they're going to be performing. Just look on the Saturday Suit Facebook page and you'll get all the places. They're doing about 6 or 7 dates across the UK. But on the 18th, they're going to be at the O2 Academy in Bournemouth. Log on to the Saturday Soup Facebook page to find out all the rest of the dates where they're going to be performing around the UK. Right, slight correction for Angie Stone. So the 7th, let me get this right. 17th, Angie Stone is at the O2 Institute in Birmingham. October the 18th, she's at the O2 Ritz in Manchester. And on October the 19th, she's at Indigo at the O2 in London. All right, Angie Stone, 3 dates, Birmingham, Manchester and London. October 17th, 18th and 19th. Also October the 18th, WizKid is at the O2 Victoria Warehouse in Manchester. And then it's going to be at the O2 in London. That's WizKid. Shout out for all the Afrobeats crew. Also October the 18th, the Brand New Heavies are going to be at the Brook in Southampton. The Brand New Heavies at the Brook in Southampton. October the 19th, Alexander O'Neill is going to be at the Exeter Lemon Grove. Also on October the 19th, Janine and the Dub Treatment is going to be at the O2 Institute in Birmingham. And then on October the 20th, she's going to be at the O2 Academy in Islington in London. Man, there's so many gigs here, man. We've also got the Kingdom, the London African Gospel Choir. October the 20th in Manchester. Lil Sims, the Kingdom. October the 29th for the O2 Academy in Islington. Pharaoh Monk at the Electric. November 16th. Man, there's too many. Sims is looking at me like, what? So
basically, if you want to check out all the gigs that we haven't mentioned, if you go on to Saturday Soup Show on Facebook, they will be posted up there today or tomorrow the latest.
Too many.
Many.
Right, so Tyson Fury enters the world of wrestling. You saw this, right?
I saw this yesterday and I was like,
Tyson Fury enters the world of wrestling.
Right. So I was like, he's going to be doing that in Dubai, right?
He's done it. It happened this week. It was a nonsense.
Oh, what happened then?
It was a nonsense. It was classic fufu make believe wrestling. It was a farce. It was a nonsense. Why he's doing this, I don't know. Because my man ain't short of money right now.
Very true. Yeah.
It was a nonsense. You know them fake throw punch and people go flying like. You know, like Batman, all that's missing was the Batman pows and poof and all that on the screen. It was a nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Wow. But yeah, he entered the world of wrestling with a fight against Braun Strowman. And it was just a farce, really. Nonsense. We should mention incidentally as well, as we're talking about Black History, June Sarpong making history, being appointed the director of creative diversity at the BBC.
That's what I'm talking about.
Salute to June Sarpong. And BBC, you get no props for that. No props because that's coming in the aftermath of the Naga incident. I think we're not stupid. We can connect the dots. You making that announcement, that appointment right after you were shamed. You know what I mean? So we get that. But June Sarpong, she definitely deserves that. She's been putting in the work for like decades, man. So hopefully she'll bring about some much needed positive change at the BBC. June Sarpong making Black history at the BBC.
That's brilliant.
It is brilliant.
Yeah, man.
I love talking about Black history being made, not just in the past, but history that's being made right now as well. You know what I mean? So definitely want to salute June Sarpong. Not the BBC. I'm saluting June.
Make that clear.
Yeah, make it be clear. Make it be clear. And question on the Amber Geiger trial before we finish, right? So, the biggest controversy, well, there were many controversies around this trial. For those of you unfamiliar with it, Amber Geiger, white Dallas police woman who went into the home of Botham John, and who was an innocent young black man, and she killed him in his own home. And the sentence was controversial. She could have got life sentence, which was basically 99 years. She got 10. Eligible for parole in 5, which I'm sure she will get because she's a police officer. That was the first controversy. Secondly, now Jonathan Brown, who's one of the main witnesses for the prosecution, winds up dead 10 days after giving evidence against Amber Geiger. Dallas police are trying to convince the world that this was a drug-related killing. No, we're not buying it. We're not buying it. Then the other controversy was sentencing. At sentencing, the judge, no, before that, Botham Jean's brother, saying for religious reasons, he was going to forgive Amber Geiger for killing his brother. Yeah. He's saying he wished her no ill whatsoever, and he requested to go and hug the woman, which he did. Walked across the court and hugged this woman like it was some long lost relative that Adrian had found for him, and tracing his ancestry or something. And if that wasn't enough, the judge, another black female, Tammy Kemp, also hugged Amber Geiger, who is, I should add, who's now officially a convicted murderer. Yeah. Since when do judges hug convicted murderers in their court?
Because from my knowledge, you're not meant to do that at all.
She's not meant to. She admitted in an interview that I watched her on, she knows that's not allowed. And also, Bolton's brother is not supposed to be allowed to go and hug the defendant either. But she allowed this for this police officer who is a convicted murderer. Question: could you hug or forgive someone for killing a loved one like that?
That's just me, no. I just want to mention quickly as well, there's a film that came out yesterday called Farming.
Yes, I've heard of this.
There's a trailer been going around. It's about a young Nigerian boy farmed out by his parents to white British family, but then he ends up joining one of those skinhead gangs.
Oh, I saw this. Saw this. Yes.
So that came out yesterday. So
it's deep.
I'll stress
Have you seen it?
That you go and see it. No, I haven't gone to see it yet, but I will.
Deep.
Yeah.
It's deep. All right, so Sims is showing me we run out of time, like she wants to beat me or something. I don't like how you handling me in the studio, Sims. 1, 2. If you had something in your hand, I think I would have got lashed already.
No, but we got to go in it because we got seconds left. So, thank you, DJ Croc, for doing what you do best every Saturday, and we will be back next Saturday between 4 and 6.
Thanks to our special guests, Adrian Stone and Ruth Ellen.
Ellen. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.